We are good to go. Thank you for tuning in to Indie Mondays. This is we had a little Indie Sundays yesterday, talking about some of the stuff going on in music, and today we're going to take some time, not too long. We'll talk a little bit about some movie stuff, some of the visual medium here on the Goody Awards. We like to talk about the collaboration, the combination of art and music, because music is in everything. So we're going to talk a little bit about music and movies and things today, visual projects coming out from people. Uh, Thank you for tuning in to Indie Mondays, brought to you by the Goody Awards here in our new set. Whoa. Uh, let's go ahead and get into some headline stuff here because there's a couple of different little newsy things related to movies and stuff that I wanted to get into real quick, related to some of our fun favorite artists and stuff like that before we get into some of our bigger topics. So let's go ahead and hit, let me share my screen real quick as we get into some headlines here. Oh, wait. Also, let me put, if you have any thoughts on anything as we're talking about today, be sure to drop them in the chat. And let me go ahead and put some, we got Indie Sundays. Let's go ahead and do some Indie Mondays. Oh, wait, hang on. It still says Indie Sundays. Let me change it. A little quick switcheroo. And there we go. We got Indie Mondays. We're watching some movies and stuff. Indie Mondays brought to you by the Goody Awards. And let's get into some stuff that's coming up with some artists that we like and with some projects that they're in. It was announced recently, Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme, starring Timothée Chalamet, says coming soon. So we still have some, time to see sort of where that goes. But this Marty, so the Safdie brothers, Josh and, I think the other guy's like Benny Safdie, were both involved in, they made like Uncut Gems. They made Good Time with Robert Pattinson and everything. And so now Timothée Chalamet is going to be in this movie. But who else is going to be in this movie? Why do I bring it up? Because Tyler, the Creator, is going to be in this movie. Tyler, the Creator, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Timothée Chalamet are all going to be in this movie, Marty Supreme. And so not too much that I know about this movie at this point, but I think it's going to be very interesting. So just wanted to put that on your radar because it's going to be on mine. So that's something. Also, we got an announcement from an artist who's doing a little visual project. Not her first, but we got, Sabrina Carpenter. Have you heard of her? She's got a little project coming up. Let's see a little bit about this. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Sabrina Carpenter, sorry if that was lagging a little bit, but Sabrina Carpenter is going to be doing a little holiday special. So she's doing a holiday special with Netflix, so we'll get that a little later this year. So that'll be, that'll be a little interesting to check out. A little information from some stuff from, it's going to be a Nonsense Christmas holiday special on Netflix December 6th. So we'll see what that ends up being. It looks like it's probably going to be some type of live performance, maybe a little like live show or something. We will wait and see. But we love a good holiday special. Elvis did one, and now Sabrina Carpenter's doing one, and they are equally going to be as successful. We will see. All right, let's get into some movie stuff. I went and watched The Substance today, and I've got a lot of stuff that I want to talk about with that one. Not a lot of stuff, but I want some stuff because I don't want to give it away because I think you got to go check it out. It's got my recommendation. But let me go ahead and talk a little bit about some other stuff. Wolves came out this week. It's like sort of this Brad Pitt and George Clooney movie, and I've got to go check that one out, but I haven't had a minute to go see it yet, so I will keep you posted on that one. Let me show you a little bit. Let me show you the poster here, so that way you can get a little visual for this. So we had Wolves, came out this weekend. It's got George Clooney, Brad Pitt, two rival fixers, so like fixing up some crime scenes and stuff like that, cross paths, and then they have to work together and everything like that. So it looks like it'll be a fun little action movie, little fun movie, nice guys, but maybe more action than comedy. So I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm gonna go see it with some folks later this weekend, hopefully, is the plan. So that's Wolves. If that sounds like something you're into, go check it out and let me know. Or if you've seen it, drop it in the comments and let me know as well. I also went and checked out this past week. I finally got around to Beetlejuice, the Beetlejuice sequel, and I will say is I thought that it's not as bad as some. So we had 1988 was the original Beetlejuice, and then 2024. So what's the math on that? That's 36 years later. So 36 years later, can you run it back and be successful? I think it's not easy, but we saw with Alien Romulus this year. I thought that was a pretty good sort of reboot, legacy sequel type thing to come back in and understand what made the first one good and try to recreate that. So I thought it was not as bad as something like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire came out earlier this year. But I did not think it was as good as something like Alien Romulus, where it's like, oh, it's a perfect thing. A lot of the stuff is kind of just because you have a lot of the same actors, you get into some pitfalls of that. And but also because you're trying to get some new actors, you get into some stuff that seems to be working so. I feel like, oh, hey, we got Wiley joining us tonight. Hello. Um, Whoop, whoop. Thanks for talking about movies here on an Indie Monday. Thanks for tuning in, Wiley. Yeah, talking a little bit about the new Beetlejuice movie, which I went and saw. I went and saw the what do you call the Ghostbuster sequel with my friend Spencer earlier this year, and it was a bit of a disappointment, you might say. But this one was a little better, but I thought it was so. I won't spend too much time on it on a movie that I think is only okay. And because I really don't have too much to say about it, I say that and then I'll talk for hours. But I thought that the movie was was able to capture some of the great to have you here, Wiley. I thought it captured some of the fun and charm of the original. I think it had some fun practical effects and just seeing stuff like that. Was enjoyable just to see them going with the bits and gags that you can in sort of the Beetlejuice movie. I think you're able to do some stuff with this movie just with like by not taking yourself too seriously in ways that I think you can't as much in some other movies. And so I think that like just like people, little demons and things like doing stuff or falling down manholes and then waking up in the afterlife and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that there was some fun that you gotta get out of a movie like this, but I think also the plot was just kind of all over the place, and it is kind of nice to see a little bit of something, you know, something not care too much about the stakes of things, and then just be like, oh, well, we solved that problem, let's move on. But it did kind of just not everything quite stuck together, and I feel like there was a lot going on, and it maybe didn't all come together in the best way. And it's interesting just with a movie like this, how you can have like such a successful movie that probably a bunch of people are going to go see. Even like the advertising on this was crazy, and then like you have some actors that like aren't directed well or aren't acting well. Like Jenna Ortega, I thought was okay, but I didn't think she was like that great. And she has like a love interest in this movie, and like he was just like, oh, oof, like his lines were just terribly written. Maybe he's a great actor, maybe he's a fine actor, but it just was. So that was Beetlejuice. I was only so on that movie. So yeah, I don't. Hopefully, I think my internet here is doing a little so. And the delay is a little rough, but we continue on. I think there's been some weather here, so I think we're doing a little rough on the my laptop sounded like a plane trying to take off a little bit. So as we're having some time here on this Indie Mondays, but yeah, so that was Beetlejuice. I thought it was it was okay. If you really like Beetlejuice, maybe go check it out. But I didn't think there was anything too much to write home about. Excited to go see Wolves. I think that'll be interesting. Kind of some lone wolves. That's sort of the title. Get it? So they're lone wolves and they have to work together. You see what's happening here? And then let's see. Let me talk a little bit about the movie that I saw today as I try to maybe close some tabs here. Maybe that'll speed us up a little bit. Let me see. So I went and saw this movie, The Substance. Let me. Yes, I am actually live. Let's see. Wiley does not believe me. So Wiley's coming at me. How? Oh my God, no! How could you say that? Everybody loves Jenna Ortega. I think that I don't know. I feel like I'll give her the benefit of doubt. Maybe she just wasn't directed very well in this role, but I do think there is something to be said about um, being emo and punk in the '80s. Whenever Winona Ryder played her, is just maybe and maybe this is like fake nostalgia saying this, but it's like maybe I just don't feel like it has the same. It doesn't hit the same as being emo in the in goth in the 2020s. I feel like it's just not as cool, and maybe that's me being silly talking. Maybe that's me being too old talking. Maybe the kids think she's cool seeing her, but I don't know. It just seemed a little forced. I think that's what the thing is. It just seemed, I thought it was maybe a little kind of forced that I didn't quite hit me as being super cool and everything. That I was like, whoa, like I want to be like her or whatever. Which whenever I watch like Winona Ryder, it seems more unique with something like that. It seems more like something that was like, oh, like this is like I appreciate the sort of like goth nature that she's going about. But let me talk a little bit about this new movie, The Substance. I just went and watched it today. So this is hot off the presses, fresh off my mind. Just came out this weekend. The Substance. Let's see. Let me let my screen share a little bit as we get into this. So it's starring Demi Moore, and we got a little ad for the Penguin right here. But it says a fading celebrity decides to use a black market drug that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. And so and let me switch over to my little presentation here because I think that'll look a little better because I won't have as many ads. But let me switch over to this tab as we get into the conversation about this. Let's see. Thank you for dropping some chats in the thing. Let's see. Wiley says, let's see. Oh, Wiley was talking about Beetlejuice a little bit. They should have had her be a good conservative value women. That's what people think is crazy these days. Well, I don't know about that. I think I think that may have made both sides feel a little something in their hearts, but I don't know. You might be, maybe the real punks are the conservatives these days. Think about it. I don't know. I don't know about that. But okay, I made a little presentation for you guys, so you should feel appreciated. Over in my, here we go. All right, The Substance. So check this out. Okay, so I wanted to hit in. So let me tell you a little bit about this movie, The Substance. So it's about this lady. Check out this poster. You know what I'm saying? It's about this lady who is a sort of fading film star, TV star, and she's trying to, she's feeling her oldness. She's feeling her age. She's feeling that maybe she's not as beautiful as she used to be, and she takes this black market drug that helps make a temporary younger version of herself. I really don't want to go too much in spoilers because I think it's good to go into this movie knowing as little as possible. I feel like a lot of movies are good like that. But I'll hit you with a few things that I think are good, and I'll sort of hit you with some generalities. And I'll hit you some warnings. If you don't like stuff that's maybe like a little gross with people's bodies, if you're not too comfortable with that, then maybe this movie is not for you. Like if this is on the "Can I show this to my mom?" test, unless your mom, you better have a cool mom so that you can show this to her, else she might be like, "What is going on here?" But I like that it gets kind of weird. So let me go ahead and walk. I got three things that I really like this movie for that are vague enough that it doesn't spoil anything. One is the visuals. So I think that there's some really good VFX in this. Some really good visual effects going on here. Stuff that they do with some practical effects, some visual effects with stuff like you see like the multiple eyes here as we're getting multiple versions of the same character. And then I really like the sort of company that she goes to get this black market drug has this really really specific text and this packaging that everything feels like so specific. Everything feels so well, like clinical, and like all these weird things that you're doing to yourself, it's like normal. Like it's all, don't worry, we've got it under control. Everything's normal. But then like you see, oh, imagine this. you see things start to go a little crazy, a little off the rails, perhaps. So, I think that the sort of point of this movie, because I'll stop at that real quick, is it shows this sort of older, aging Hollywood star dealing with the fact that she's not young and beautiful anymore, and wanting to deal with that. Well, I wonder what the movie's trying to say about society, or how we perceive women, or how we perceive young people, or beauty, or whatever. So I mean, you can probably guess, but I think the movie doesn't get too deep with that. It kind of just instead just goes over. It keeps it simple with that, but then just goes over the top and shows you just some really crazy stuff. It's kind of like the Barbie movie on steroids and for adults. So don't take your kids to see this one, because it's kind of crazy, and there are boobies in it too. So watch out. Yeah. So the visuals, I think, are pretty, just all the editing, the camera work, all the production design is this movie gets is pretty good. Now let me get into the performances, because I think the performances are good in their different ways. With You have Demi Moore playing the main character, Margaret Qualley playing her younger version of herself, and they both do a good. They have a good interplay. Demi Moore is the lead, of course. She's the lead actor and everything, and she does a great job, sort of doing all the things that she's trying to do in this movie. All the things that the movie requests of her. Let's see. We got some comments coming in about The Substance. Oh my goodness, Wiley, you're gonna get me in trouble. I think it's trying to show women that they should work harder to stay young and beautiful, or they will regret it. Wiley, now I know you're messing with me, because that is not what the. Oh goodness! All right, I gotta hide these comments. But I do like that you're gonna try to watch. Maybe you'll learn something, because I think that the message might not be that. But let me talk a little bit about the performances. You have Demi Moore doing a performance where she requires her to have a lot of range. Margaret Qualley playing the younger version of herself. It's funny how they like do all this stuff to, like, she has to be like the sexy, sleek, young version, and so she does a good job of that. I love the costuming in this, just like all the different things. It's like the amounts of shots that it has of like just like of these people's like butts. It's crazy for this TV show. It's like she works for this sort of exercise TV show, and it's just crazy. It's like, this would not like fly on TV. How is this even allowed? But maybe that's like part of it. And then let me hit on Dennis Quaid real quick. I think that's how you say his last name. This guy's range, and just things like let me skip over here real quick. He was also in this movie in 2024, Reagan, like this sort of Ronald Reagan propaganda movie, and now he's in like this super weird, bonkers, The Substance movie. It's just he's playing the TV producer. He does a great job. It's just crazy that he can do these really like sort of specific like bad roles, or like sort of weirdly niche conservative propaganda roles, and then also do something like this, which is like this movie. I feel like it's so much the opposite, and so it's interesting. Just that I think they all do a great job in taking this movie. The performances go along with, because this movie's all about extremes, and these performances understand that these people know to go extreme and go crazy, and they show a lot of stuff, because not a lot of people explain stuff. It's not a lot of people talking to each other. It's really interesting how there not many people talk to each other in conversations. It's a lot of people just doing stuff on their own, and then a lot of the sort of thinking, or what people is going on inside their heads, is subtext, where you pick it up on looking on their faces and everything. And I think the performances are a good part of that. Wiley's telling me, you don't have to read my comments. This is your choice. You're doing it to yourself. Okay, I guess you're right. I guess I am in control here. Don't forget that. I am in control. I just like to sort of engage with my audience, All right, let's get to my third favorite thing about this movie, because I do think you should go watch it, is the score. Now, I might get a little copyright in trouble for this, but let me play a little bit of the score here. Let me see if it'll let me play this as I switch over here. See about this, because if you can hear a little bit of it, I don't know if it's gonna let me. Let me try. It's got this like techno score. I really appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Okay. So it really incorporates a lot of this. Oh, wow. So I love the sound design. I love the score on this movie. I think it really incorporates. I mean, with this and Challengers, the EDM techno score suite is going to be great this year. I'm gonna love. I love that how we're incorporating that into our movies. So I think it really uh, they're able to use the music to really have this sort of youth or vibrancy, but also the like sort of this twisted youth and vibrancy as you're doing all these crazy things. It's kind of like whenever you see a montage of people like taking drugs at the club. It's like, wow, you're so young and beautiful and crazy. But it's like, but maybe this is not. Oh, we cannot hear it. Okay, so sorry, you'll have to go check it out yourself. I guess they won't let me play it for you. Ah, curses. But it takes all it takes the sort of twisted youth and the sort of like these doing these crazy things or doing these things that you can do while you're young supposedly and then like showing that maybe like they're not so great or maybe things are not so happy after all. So I think the score does a good job of that. It gets a good score from me. You see what I did there? So yeah, so those are three things that I thought were really great about the substance. We had the visuals, performances, the score. That is the substance, and so those are three vague enough things that I think I can recommend as strengths of this movie that you should go check it out because I think it's a. And I really want to highlight the score because you got the Goody Awards. It's a collaboration of art and music, and I think it has a great score that just contributes to the vibe of the piece. The and sort of could lean into sort of the themes of the movie as well. So that's the substance. Hopefully, you have a chance to check it out. Like I said, if you're a little squeamish, I mean, there's a part with needles that got to me a little bit. But if you're not so much into seeing some bodily fluids, some surgery type stuff, maybe a little stuff like that, might not be your thing to check out. But I think if you're open to something like that, if you want to see something weird and bonkers and off the wall with maybe like a little bit of a message that'll make you think, and maybe some of you guys out there who are watching this need that. I'm talking to you, Mister, in the comments. Is I think this will be something good to check it out. So if you have a chance to check it out, that is the substance that was out in theaters this weekend. So yeah, I just wanted to do a quick stream, come on here and talk a little bit about movie stuff. Just went and saw that. I'm going to be watching more stuff this weekend, this week, and I'll be sure to keep you updated on all that. And we'll talk about any good movie stuff on here on Indie Mondays, and we'll talk about music stuff on Indie Sundays. If you want to go check out the song that I tried to play, you can catch it in I linked it. It's in the playlist, which is linked in the bio on the Goody Awards Instagram. Just go at Goody Awards on Instagram. It says it on the ticker right below me as well. And at the bottom of that playlist, you'll see the song from the substance that I think, which was titled The Substance, but I think is pretty good. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and appreciate you hanging out with me on this Monday. And I appreciate you. I appreciate all these little emojis that I'm getting in the chat from Wiley. Wiley, thanks for tuning in with me on this Monday. I'll look forward to seeing you guys next Monday as we talk more on an Indie Monday brought to you by the Goody Awards. All right, have a good rest of your night.